Hey friends, so the onion sets are in and we are gonna get ready to plant them. Come with me into the garden, we're gonna get to work. So friends, we're gonna get our onion bed started. Now, if you recall, this bed had the sweet potatoes in it. So we need to address amendment of the soil. Now, I'm going to add garden tone and bone meal to these to just, add that extra oomph of nutrition for our plants. But the most important part for the onions, like the one thing that the onions need above all else, is the blood meal for the nitrogen. They are extremely heavy nitrogen feeders because an onion is just a bulb putting on leaves and leaves and layers and layers and layers. So it takes heavy nitrogen. So I'm gonna put a lot of the blood meal in here to give it that huge nitrogen boost, but it still needs a little bit of its other friends. So we're gonna amend the soil with the garden tone, the bone meal, and then I'm gonna do heavy nitrogen. And like always, I'm using my handy dandy Ryobi hand tiller. I love this thing. And we're gonna work that into this soil that's already existing in here before we ever put the bulbs in or the sets in. Okay friends, so I'm gonna start with the garden tone. Now this says the recommended feeding for garden beds for every 50 square feet is 9 cups or 3 pounds. I'm not gonna use quite that much. Now garden tone is a little bit of everything, right? It has the calcium, the magnesium, it has water soluble sulfur and potash. It also has, nitrogen, phosphate, potash, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. But I'm going, it's like an all-around, all-purpose fertilizer. But I like to bump up with the nitrogen with the blood meal, especially for an onion that is such a heavy nitrogen feeder. Remember, if it's a lot of leaves, you need a lot of nitrogen because nitrogen is what gives you the green leafy vegetables. And then bone meal provides you with nitrogen as well, but also phosphate and a lot of calcium. Calcium is what helps prevent blossom end rot in tomatoes. So when I put the tomatoes down, I put a lot of bone meal in. But it's good for all root vegetables as well. And then now for the really important one, the nitrogen. This blood meal, this is from Lowe's, the Stay Green brand, blood meal, and it is 14% water soluble nitrogen. Water insoluble nitrogen, which means it's not going to dissolve out. Okay, so as you can see, I went super heavy with that nitrogen. And now we're going to work it in. Okay, so I'm going to use a rake. This rake is like 600 years old. We've had it for I don't even know how long. It's even mixed paint in the past. It still works. But I'm going to use this small rake and just kind of level out any little hills and valleys. Because when we put our onions in, I don't want any areas where the water will pool and dip. I just want really good drainage. So going through, raking it out, and making sure that it's level will help make sure that we have good, proper drainage. Okay, friends, so we're watering this in now. Oh, this looks like a little root. Look. It is a little root.
That would have given it.
That would have given something. So before putting in the onions, we're going to water this in. Just to get it nice and moist. I don't want those onions moving around. Okay, let's let that soak in for a second. So, last time I wanted to give them so much space and all this crazy amount of space to grow in, and I did not maximize my growing space. So I'm going to put them a little bit closer together this time.
You want a string so that you go in straight lines?
No.
No. So how far apart are you putting them?
Maybe like 2 or 3 inches.
So 5 rows?
5 per row.
Or 5 rows?
Yeah, 5 rows and 5 per row.
Yeah, so 5 rows.
What?
It's cool. It's cute.
5
It's
rows.
math. It's math.
I hate math. I hate math. I mean, I hate math. This is not straight. So I did learn by my own independent research that the smaller the set when you put it in the ground, the larger your onion will be.
So you don't plant everything.
Yeah, so you don't plant everything. Once it, like if you get these sets from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, the larger bulbs that you're like, that one's gonna be a huge onion. It's not. That one is gonna be done growing at this big. That's why I was getting the ones that were like this large and weren't growing at all. Cause I was like, that one's gonna be a huge onion. It's not. That's wrong. Absolutely backwards. The smaller the smaller the set, the bigger the onion. The larger the set, the smaller the onion, because it thinks I'm done growing. They pulled me out of the ground and I'm done, I'm good to go. It is not. It is not. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna put the smaller ones. I picked these in particular because they have lots of little small onions as opposed to big giant ones. So I've been working backwards the whole growing time, which is good. And you want them to have like little small roots to give them a chance to root out. So it's I've been working backwards this whole time. We live and we learn. What is it that I've been seeing on TikTok lately? We listen and we don't judge. I've been learning. And then the other part, you don't want to bury this down, this whole deep part. You need to leave a lot of this white area out. So you're just burying this bottom part in here. It doesn't have to, you know, go super deep in there. Just the tip. So friends, this is a perfect example. Larger bulb, tiny bulb, medium bulb. You're gonna wanna plant these two, not that one. So friends, it is the next morning. Look at how beautiful. Everybody is standing up and happy. And then we moved these boxes over to this side because they weren't getting any sun at all. If you recall, these two boxes were over here, but this area is shaded all day now during the winter time, so we had to move the boxes so they get at least a little bit of sun throughout the day. So guys, we have our onions planted for this year. They're right there behind me. Super excited about it. I'll keep you guys posted on how they do throughout the growing season. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm happy to see you. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves and each other.